There is a tick a Silverado makes it idle that costs about $60 in parts to fix, and there is an almost identical tick that costs $7,000. Same rhythm, same corner of the engine, same cold morning. Owners stand in the driveway with the hood up and a phone recording, and they honestly cannot tell which one they are listening to. By the time the truck makes the difference obvious, the camshaft is already scrap. That tick is number 1 on this list, and I am going to make you wait for it. If you skip straight to the worst case, you will pay a shop to tear the top off a healthy engine over a noise that was coming from a loose exhaust bolt. Your truck talks constantly. It grinds, it clunks, it squeals, it hums, it whines, and it ticks. Some of that is a rubber bushing worth about the price of lunch. One of them is a 4-figure repair rolling toward you at highway speed. 10 noises, worst last, and I will tell you plainly which ones mean stop driving and which ones you can ignore for the life of the truck. Number 10. The rattle from behind you. You hit a rough back road and something behind the cab sounds like a toolbox falling downstairs. 9 times out of 10, it is the tailgate. It hangs on 2 hinges and latches at 2 corners, and once the latch rods wear a little slop into the strikers, every expansion joint on the freeway sets it off. Check the bed too, because a drop-in liner that has worked its screws loose will drum against the sheet metal. None of it is dangerous, and none of it gets worse. Grab the tailgate and shake it. If it moves, you found it. Cosmetic. Number 9. The squeal when you brake. Your truck has a noise engineered into it deliberately. Somebody sat in a meeting and decided your Silverado should scream at you. That is the brake wear indicator. A thin metal tab riveted to the pad backing plate, set so that when the friction material wears down to about the last 1/8 of an inch, the tab drags on the rotor and squeals every time you touch the pedal. A squeal is not a failure. A squeal is the truck doing its job, telling you there is maybe 1,000 miles of pad left. The noise that matters is the one after it. A deep, dry grinding you can feel through the pedal is the backing plate cutting into the rotor face, metal on a truck that weighs around 5,000 pounds empty. Stop driving it. A pad and rotor job you scheduled costs a fraction of the caliper job you did not. Number 8. The creak from under the bed. Pull into a driveway at an angle and the back of the truck groans like a wooden ship. That is the leaf spring pack. Silverados use stacked leaves at the rear, and those leaves slide against each other every time the suspension moves. Dry contact points, worn shackle bushings, and dried-out body mounts all sing the same song. It is loudest with an empty bed in cold weather, and it usually quiets down in the summer. A creaking leaf pack is not about to fail. Look underneath for a cracked leaf or an egg-shaped shackle bolt hole, and if the leaves are intact, leave it alone. Cosmetic. The next one is not. Number 7. The clunk over a speed bump. Every owner blames the shocks. That is the first thing every forum thread says. Shocks are almost never the answer, because a worn shock makes the truck float and wallow after a bump instead of making one sharp knock. The sharp knock has 3 usual suspects. Sway bar end links go first. Since they are small, they sit in the spray off the front tires, and the ball socket at each end wears out. A bad link gives a light metallic clunk over small bumps and vanishes on smooth pavement. Second is the upper control arm bushing, which gives a heavier thud and often a shimmy in the steering wheel. Third, and the one people miss, is the steering intermediate shaft between the column and the rack. When those splines dry out, you get a clunk you feel in your hands rocking the wheel side to side while parked. Not dangerous in the short term, but fix it anyway because it masks everything else. Number 6. The hum that changes when you steer. A wheel bearing spins at roughly the same speed whether you turn left or right. So why does the hum get louder in one direction and disappear in the other? Because you are not changing the speed, you are changing the load. On a long highway curve, weight shifts onto the outside wheels. Lean into a right-hand bend and you load the left front bearing, so a rough left bearing gets louder. Straighten out and the noise fades. That is the cleanest test there is, and it works at 50 miles an hour on any on-ramp. The sound is a low growl or a droning hum that rises and falls with road speed, not engine speed. It is easy to mistake for aggressive tires, so rotate the tires first. If the noise does not move, it is the bearing. A bad hub can get loud enough to hear over the radio and still be safe for a while, but once you feel a wobble in the wheel or the ABS light comes on, you are done. Fix it. Number 5 only shows up when you reach for the 4-wheel drive dial. Number 5. The grind when you shift into 4-wheel drive. You twist the dial to 4 high, a light blinks, and something under the middle of the truck sounds like a coffee grinder full of gravel. That is usually the transfer case encoder motor, an electric actuator bolted to the case that moves the shift fork and reports its position back to the module. When the motor gear wears or the position sensor gets dirty, the case tries to engage, fails, and grinds. A dash light that blinks and never goes solid is the giveaway. Then the front axle. Newer trucks use an actuator on the front differential to lock it, and a slow or failed one gives a clunk a second or two after the light comes on. The differential itself will howl if the fluid was never changed, and that howl only shows up in 4-wheel drive. The one to take seriously is the click. A steady clicking that speeds up with the truck and gets worse on a tight turn is a worn CV axle joint. Ignore it long enough and the joint separates, which on a front axle means a spinning half shaft under your floor. Do not put that one off. Number 4. The 3 ticks that are not the tick. Before number 1, rule these out because all 3 sound close enough to fool people. First, the exhaust manifold bolt. GM small block V8s are famous for snapping manifold bolts and burning the gasket. You get a sharp tick on a cold start that fades once everything expands and seals up. A cold tick that goes away warm is almost always exhaust. That is the $60 noise from the top of this video. Second, the fuel pump. Any Silverado with direct injection runs a mechanical high-pressure pump driven off the camshaft, and it ticks. It is supposed to. You get a fast, even chatter that never changes character, never throws a code, and sounds the same on both sides. Normal. Third, the water pump. A dying pump bearing growls or whines with engine speed, and usually brings slow coolant loss and crust around the weep hole. Not a tick, but people file it under engine noise anyway. And if you have the Duramax, all of this is different. A diesel clatters. It is loud, it is uneven at idle, and it is completely normal. What is not normal is one injector tapping harder than the rest, especially with a rough idle and white smoke on a cold start. That one is a real repair. Coming up is the shudder that feels like rumble strips on smooth pavement. Then the 2 engine knocks that decide whether your Silverado sees 200,000 miles. Before that, pause and drop this in the comments. Which noise left on this list do you think costs the most to fix? I go through the comments on every video, and I already know half of you are going to say transmission. And since you are already paused, one more thing. Start your truck cold tomorrow and just listen for 15 seconds before you touch anything. That is your free diagnostic. Now, the top 3. Number 3. The shudder that feels like a bad road. This is the only fault on the list that owners feel before they hear it, and for a lot of trucks, the fix is a fluid change. On the 8-speed automatic, GM had a well-documented shudder under light throttle at cruising speed, usually somewhere between about 25 and 80 miles an hour. It feels exactly like driving over rumble strips on smooth pavement. GM traced it to moisture in the transmission fluid glazing the torque converter clutch, and the service bulletin fix was a full flush with the newer low-viscosity fluid, plus about a week of driving to let the transmission relearn its shift points. Trucks from roughly 2015 through 2018 got hit hardest. If the flush does not clear it, the converter comes out, and now you are into real money. The 10-speed that replaced it is better on this one specific issue. It still has harsh 1 to 2 shifts and the odd clunk when it drops gears, but the cruise shudder is far less common. Either way, a shudder is not a stop driving noise. It is a book it this month noise. Number 2. The knock on a cold morning. 2 knocks live in a Silverado engine, and they could not be more different. The first is piston slap. On the older 5.3, the piston skirt rocks in a cold bore before the aluminum expands and taps the cylinder wall. You get a hollow, dull knock for the first 30 to 60 seconds after a cold start, then nothing for the rest of the day. Trucks have run a couple 100,000 miles doing that. Annoying, not fatal. The second knock is a rod bearing, and it is the one that ends engines. A rod knock is deeper, it stays after warm-up, and it gets louder when you load the engine instead of quieter. If you rev it in neutral and the knock follows the throttle, stop driving the truck. In 2025, GM recalled hundreds of thousands of vehicles built from 2021 to 2024 with the 6.2-liter V8 over exactly this: connecting rod and crankshaft components with manufacturing defects that could lead to engine failure. If you own one, run your vehicle identification number and check. Cold knock that clears in a minute, keep an eye on it. Knock that stays, park it. Number 1. The tick. Now the one that pays a shop's mortgage. Active fuel management on the older trucks and dynamic fuel management on the newer ones shuts cylinders down to save gas. It does that with special lifters holding a spring-loaded locking pin released by pressurized oil that lets the lifter collapse so the valve stops opening. Clever, and it works, right up until the pin sticks. When a lifter fails, one of three things happens. The roller bearing on the bottom wears out. The pin sticks collapsed and that cylinder stops making power. Or, worst case, the pin sticks halfway and the lifter hammers the camshaft lobe flat while metal shavings go through your oil. The sound is a metallic tick from the top of the engine, usually louder from one bank. Here is how you separate it from number 4. The exhaust bolt tick fades once the engine is warm. This one does not. It stays after warm-up, it follows engine speed, and it very often arrives with a check engine light and misfire codes. The bill is what makes this number 1. Lifters and camshaft together run roughly $3,500 to $7,000 once a shop is doing the labor. And that is before anyone says the words replacement engine. Owners report failures well under 120,000 miles, and forums are full of trucks that lost a cylinder around 60,000. There is no safety recall for the lifters themselves, only service bulletins, so most of these bills land on the owner. A persistent tick that survives warm-up is a stop driving noise. Every mile after a lifter starts breaking up is another mile of metal circulating through the oil system, and that is the difference between a lifter job and a new engine. Change the oil on the shorter interval, use the exact spec the manual asks for, and take a warm tick seriously the week you first hear it. That is the whole tour. Rattles and creaks you can live with. Squeals and hums you schedule. Grinding brakes. A clicking CV joint. A knock that stays warm. And a tick that will not quit. Those 4 mean the truck stops until it is fixed. The Silverados that make it past 300,000 miles are not the lucky ones. They belong to people who listened early. Next time you start it cold, give it 15 seconds before you touch the radio.